So when you're ready, just coming into a comfortable seated position with the legs crossed, taking the hands to heart and closing the eyes. As you start to bring your complete focus now to the breath, longer, deeper inhales and exhales through the nose, one after another. And we'll open today's practice with one Om all together. Inhaling through the nose. And just taking a moment here to set an intention for today's practice. That intention could be anything. It may be the reason you're here practicing. And when you're ready, opening the eyes as you place the hands on the mat in front of you. Starting to rock forward, stepping the feet back, coming into a high plank. Exhaling to low plank. Inhaling upward dog. Exhaling downward dog. Inhaling and stepping or jumping the feet to the hands, looking up halfway. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, coming all the way up, stretching the arms up, palms together, gazing past the thumbs, and exhaling to Samastihiti. As we come into Samastihiti, coming towards the front of the mat, leaving about a foot's distance from the front of the mat and the big toes. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. You can take the arms to the side. We'll start today with 3 rounds of Sun Salutation A. Inhaling the arms up, gazing past the thumbs. Exhaling and folding forward. Inhaling, looking up halfway, and exhaling, stepping or jumping the feet back. High plank to low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. We're going to stay here for 5 counts, long deep breaths, spreading the fingers, pressing down through the hands and fingers. Making sure the feet are hip width apart, big toes pointing slightly in. You can have the knees bent as much as you need here, or if you can, starting to straighten them out a little bit. 4, 5, inhaling and stepping or jumping the feet to the hands, looking up halfway. Exhaling and folding forward. Inhaling, coming all the way up, gazing past the thumbs, and exhaling to Samastihiti. Taking a moment to readjust the feet here, we'll do 2 more rounds. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling and folding forward. Inhaling, looking up halfway, and exhaling, stepping or jumping the feet back. High plank to low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Again, staying here 5 counts, long, deep breaths through the nose. Again, continuing to spread the fingers out wide, pressing down through the hands and fingers, protecting the wrists here. So you lift the tailbone towards the sky, keeping the gaze on either your toes, your knees, or your navel. Inhaling and stepping or jumping the feet to the hands, looking up halfway. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, coming all the way up, gazing past the thumbs, and exhaling to Samastihiti. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, looking up halfway, and exhaling, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Last round, 5 counts here. Again, keeping the gaze on either the toes, the knees, or the navel. If you find yourself, you want to make any movements here in your downward dog, feel free to do so, rocking the hips or pedaling the feet out, whatever feels like it's coming to you. If you feel like this gets too much at any time, feel free to come into a child's pose at any time throughout the practice today. Inhaling and stepping or jumping the feet to the hands, looking up halfway. Exhaling and folding forward. Inhaling, coming all the way up, gazing past the thumbs, and exhaling the hands to heart. Taking a moment to readjust the feet as we'll come into 3 rounds of Sun Salutation B now. Squeezing the feet and knees together, bending the knees, inhaling, scooping to chair pose. Exhaling and folding forward. Inhaling, looking up halfway, and exhaling, stepping or jumping the feet back. Chaturanga, Dandasana, high plank to low plank. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling and stepping the right foot between the hands, knee stacked on ankle, taking the left foot down to the mat, lifting all the way up into Warrior One, gazing past the thumbs. Exhaling and folding forward, Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling and stepping the left foot between the hands, knee stacked on ankle, coming into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. Exhaling and folding forward, Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Again, staying here in your downward dog, 5 counts, long, deep breaths. As you feel this body starting to warm up now, slowly starting to straighten the legs out a little bit more, drawing the heels back towards the mat. It's 4, 5, inhaling and stepping or jumping the feet to the hands, looking up halfway, exhaling and folding forward. Bending the knees and inhaling, scooping to chair pose, and exhaling to Samasthiti. Again, just taking a moment to readjust the feet, big toes together, heels slightly apart. We'll do 2 more rounds. Inhaling to chair pose. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, looking up halfway, and exhaling, stepping or jumping the feet back, high plank to low plank, Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling the right foot between the hands, coming into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. Exhaling, folding forward, Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling the left foot between the hands, coming into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. Exhaling, folding forward, Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhaling, stepping or jumping the feet to the hands, looking up halfway. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling and scooping into chair pose. And exhaling to Samasthiti. 1 more round, inhaling, chair pose. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, looking up halfway, and exhaling, Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling the right foot between the hands, coming into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. Exhaling, folding forward, Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling the left foot between the hands, knee stacked on ankle, coming into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. Exhaling, folding forward, Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. For this last downward dog, if you'd like to, pedaling the feet out side to side, stretching through the calves, the hamstrings. It's 4, 5, inhaling and stepping or jumping the feet to the hands, looking up halfway. Exhaling, folding forward. Bending the knees, inhaling, scooping to chair pose. And exhaling to Samasthiti. Inhaling and stepping the feet about hip width apart, big toes pointing slightly in here. Exhaling here and inhaling the arms all the way up, reaching the fingers to the sky as you exhale, folding forward, either taking the hands to shins or clasping the big toes with pointer and thumb. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, folding forward, taking as much of a bend in the knees here as you need to. If you need to, you can have them all the way here or starting to straighten them out a bit. Relaxing the neck, letting the head hang. Inhaling, looking up. If you can, taking it a bit further, taking the hands or fingers underneath the toes or the feet. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, folding forward. If you have the hands on the shins or way up near the knees, that's okay. Just relaxing here a little bit further if you can. Long deep breath still here through the nose. Inhaling, looking up halfway. Exhaling, the hands to hips. Inhaling, coming all the way back up. And exhaling to Samasthiti, big toes together, heels slightly apart. Inhaling and stepping the right foot back, taking the right foot to a 90-degree angle, keeping that left leg straight here, but we have the chest and the hips facing the long end of the mat. Inhaling the arms out wide and exhaling as we come forward into triangle pose, taking the back of the hand inside the knee or the calf, stretching the right hand up, gazing past the thumb, keeping that chest and hips as open as you can. If you feel you have some space, feel free to come down a little bit further. Again, keeping that breath long and deep, still not losing the breath. Inhaling, coming all the way back up. Exhaling the hands to hips as we twist the hips to face us to the short end of the mat, taking that back foot pointing slightly forward now. Making sure this time our chest and our hips are facing forward towards the front of the mat. Keeping the left hand on the left hip, inhaling the right hand up, gazing past the palm and exhaling the right hand to the left shin or ankle. Gazing over the left shoulder. If you feel you can take it further here, inhaling the left hand up, keeping both legs straight still here as we start to draw the left side of the hip back, the right side of the hip forward here. Exhaling, looking down. Inhaling, coming all the way back up, hands to hips. Exhaling the left knee stacked on ankle. Inhaling the arms up into our warrior one and exhaling the hands to heart. Inhaling, lifting the chest, gazing up, and exhaling, taking the right elbow outside of the left knee as we come into a twist here. If you can just touch the elbow to the knee, that's okay, or hooking the elbow over the knee, straightening through that back right leg, gazing over the left shoulder, extending through the chest into the twist. Exhaling, looking down. Inhaling, coming all the way back up. Keeping that leg straight here. We're going to just make sure this foot's pointing as much forward as we can here. Again, having both the chest and the hips facing the short end of the mat. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling, folding forward here. Here you can either take the hands to the shin or the knee, wherever you're at, or if you can reach them either side of the foot. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, folding forward. This time we're drawing the left side of the hip back, the right side of the hip forward. You'll feel that stretch right through the back here. Avoid having too much of a bend in the knee or hyperextending the knee here. Just having it nice and straight. Again, breathing into this pose. On each exhale, letting the chest lead a little bit further forward. Inhaling, coming all the way back up. Hands to hips, and exhaling, stepping the right foot back to Samasthiti. Inhaling, stepping the left foot back this time, left foot to a 90-degree angle. Again, chest and hips facing the long end of the mat, arms out wide, both legs straight. Inhaling here and exhaling into triangle on the other side, Trikonasana. Gazing up towards the left thumb here, planting the feet into the mat, long deep breaths. Inhaling, coming all the way back up. Exhaling the hands to hips, twisting the hips to face the short end of the mat. Again, taking that back foot, pointing forward, everything facing the short end of the mat this time. Right hand on the right hip, inhaling the left hand up. Exhaling the left hand outside of the right shin or ankle, gazing over the right shoulder this time into revolved Trikonasana. Again, either staying here or inhaling the right hand up. This time we're drawing the right side of the hip back, the left side of the hip forward. Both legs as straight as you can. Exhaling, looking down. Inhaling, coming all the way back up, hands to hips, and exhaling the right knee stacked on ankle. Inhaling the arms up, palms together, and exhaling the hands to heart. Inhaling, lifting the chest, and exhaling, taking the left elbow outside of the right knee, this time coming into a twist on the other side, gazing over the right shoulder, extending through the chest and the spine. Long deep breath still here. Exhaling, looking down. Inhaling, coming all the way back up, straightening that right leg again, taking that left foot, so it's just pointing as much forward as we can here. Having everything pointing, facing towards the short end of the mat. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling, folding forward, again either taking the hands to shins or either side of the foot. For me here, I bring my hands to my shins, I'm a bit tighter on this side. Again, while we're here, we're drawing the right side of the hip back, the left side of the hip back, forward, and we're going to just make sure we've got that straight line here. We don't want to hyperextend or bend that knee. Long, deep breaths through the nose. On each exhale, you may feel you can come a little bit further. You can start to reach down. Inhaling, coming all the way back up, hands to hips, and exhaling to Samasthiti. If you need to, just shaking the knees out a little bit here. Inhaling and stepping the right foot out wide. Making sure the big toes are pointing slightly in towards each other here, making sure the legs are a good distance apart, so we don't want to be all the way in here, we also don't want to be all the way out here. So finding that good distance, it's about one of your legs width distance apart. Inhaling the arms out wide, exhaling the hands to hips. Inhaling, lifting the chest, gazing to the sky, and exhaling, folding forward, keeping the hands on the hips as you start to squeeze the shoulder blades and elbows towards each other behind the back. Relaxing the neck, letting the head hang here. If you need to, take as much of a bend in the knees as you need to here. Otherwise, keeping those legs as straight as you can. Inhaling, coming all the way back up. And exhaling here. Inhaling the arms out wide. Exhaling, clasping the hands behind the back. Inhaling, lifting the chest, gazing to the sky, and exhaling, folding forward, taking the hands as far as you can over your head. Trying to make sure most of the weight's coming onto the balls of the feet here. We don't have too much weight dropping back onto our heels. Long deep breaths through the nose still. On each exhale, letting go that little bit further. Inhaling, coming all the way back up. And exhaling the hands to hips. Inhaling the arms out wide. Exhaling the hands to hips. Inhaling, lifting the chest, gazing up. And exhaling, folding forward. This time either taking the hands to shins or clasping the big toes with pointer and thumb. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling and folding forward. We're going to stay here 10 counts this time. Long deep breaths through the nose. On each exhale, coming that little bit further, relaxing the neck, the jaw. 5 more counts. Inhaling, looking up halfway. Exhaling the hands to hips. Inhaling, coming all the way back up. And exhaling here. Inhaling the arms out wide and exhaling to Samasthiti. So we're going to come into some balances now, starting to spread the toes, getting a firm base through the feet here before we come into our balances. For our first balance, taking the left hand to left hip, drawing weight onto the left foot, inhaling the right knee up, clasping the knee, squeezing the knee to chest, pointing the toes down. Now you can stay here if you like, or if you feel you can take it further, clasping the big toe with pointer and thumb, starting to straighten the leg out in front of you. Whichever variation suits you today, finding a point in front of you to keep your focus on to help keep your balance here. Chest lifted, extending through the spine, strong balance. Inhaling the foot or the knee out wide. If you have the hand on the knee, taking a hand inside the knee, pressing the knee out wide. Otherwise, taking that foot out wide with the leg extended. Inhaling the foot or knee to center, hands to hips, straightening the leg, pointing the toes, lifting that leg as high as you can, a little bit higher, continuing to press down through that left foot, inhaling, lifting, and exhaling, releasing, taking the right hand to right hip now, drawing weight onto the right foot, inhaling the left knee up, clasping the knee, squeezing the knee to chest. And again, if you feel you can take it further, clasping the big toe with pointer and thumb, straightening the leg out in front of you. Whichever variation suits you here today. Strong focus. Inhaling the foot or the knee out wide. Chest lifted still here. Inhaling the foot or knee to center, hands to hips, straightening the legs, pointing the toes, lifting that leg as high as you can, a little bit higher. Strong focus, long deep breaths. It's 4, lift, 5, exhaling, releasing the foot, rocking back and forward on the feet, massaging the feet gently. As we prepare to come into our next balance, our tree pose, starting to draw weight onto the left foot. You can either take the right heel above the left ankle, the right foot into the calf, or the right foot all the way up into the thigh. Taking the hands to heart and inhaling the arms up with the palms together. Finding a point in front of you to keep your focus on. Long deep breaths. We're going to stay here 15 counts in our tree pose Vinyasa. It's almost as if there's a string pulling your fingertips towards the sky. Do you feel that extension from your heel all the way to your fingers? Strong focus. 5 more counts. And exhaling the hands to heart, slowly releasing the foot back to the mat. Starting to draw weight onto your right foot now, coming into your variation of tree pose on the other side. Taking the hands to heart and inhaling the arms up with the palms together. Strong focus on a point in front of you. If you notice that you fall out of the pose at any time, just slowly starting to make your way back into the pose when you're ready. 5 more counts. And exhaling the hands to heart, slowly releasing the foot back to the mat again, just rocking back and forward on the feet, massaging the feet gently here. Inhaling and stepping the feet out towards the edges of your mat now, big toes pointing outwards. Exhaling here and inhaling the arms up, palms together, exhaling the hands to heart. Inhaling, lifting the chest, gazing up, and exhaling, starting to make your way down into a squat. Now, if you come down to here, that's okay, just staying here, or if you can, coming all the way down to a yogi squat, keeping the feet flat on the floor, hands to heart, elbows inside the knees, lifting the chest, straightening the spine, as much as you can here. Now, if this gets too intense at any time, just making your way out of the squat, back into standing, or just staying here. We're going to stay here 15 counts long, deep breath. If you like to, closing the eyes, breathing into your squat today. Again, making sure the spine isn't rounding, keeping that chest as lifted as you can, straightening the spine. 5 more counts here. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, taking the hands to the mat in front of you now and stepping the feet back, coming into a high plank. In our high plank, spreading the fingers, pressing down through the hands and fingers, making sure the wrists are sitting underneath the shoulders. Feet hip-width apart, big toes pointing slightly in towards each other as you press the heel towards the back of the room. Keeping that body as straight as we can. We don't want the hips too high or too low here, keeping it as straight as possible. We're going to stay here 15 counts also. Long, deep breaths. If this gets too much at any time, coming down onto your stomach. And whenever you're ready now, starting to make your way down onto your stomach. As you take the hands back behind you now, with the palms facing up, squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other so the chest is lifting. You're going to take the tops of the feet to the mat, starting to press the pelvis into the mat now. As you press the pelvis into the mat, your legs will lift, lifting the thighs up and then continuing to lift through the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. Lifting everything up here as you press the pelvis into the mat. Exhaling, inhaling, lifting higher. 3 more counts. Exhaling, inhaling, lifting. Last one, exhaling, inhaling, lifting, and exhaling to child's pose, resting it out here. Staying here as long as you feel you need in your child's pose. Relaxing it out here. Inhaling, downward dog. Exhaling here. Inhaling the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Exhaling, stepping the right foot between the hands, knee stacked on ankle here, keeping that back heel lifted. If you need to, you can take the knee to the mat, but still keeping the heel lifted. Otherwise, staying here, hands either side of the right foot. Taking the hands to left hand into the mat here, inhaling the right hand up, opening the chest. Exhaling the right hand down to the mat and inhaling the left hand up. Exhaling the left hand down, and when you're ready, inhaling, lifting into your high crescent lunge. Again, if this is too much, taking the knee to the mat to a low crescent lunge. Otherwise, keeping that knee lifted. Long deep breaths here. We're going to stay here 15 counts as you press that left heel towards the back of the room while also keeping it as high as you can. Stretching the arms towards the sky. Lifting the chest on each exhale, dropping the hips a little lower on each inhale, reaching the arms even higher. 5 more counts here. And exhaling as we lead forward with the chest now, pointing the fingers towards the back of the room, squeezing those shoulder blades towards each other, gazing at the ground in front of you here, making sure that knee is stacked right on top of the ankle here. As we take the left foot down to the mat, inhaling, coming all the way into our warrior two, chest and hips both facing the long end of the mat. Again, knee stacked on ankles, so you want to be able to see our big toe here, gazing over the fingers. Inhaling, the right palm facing up, reversing the warrior to half moon. And then exhaling, scooping all the way forward, framing the foot with the hands, stepping the right foot back, Chaturanga, Dandasana, high plank to low plank. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling the left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhaling the left foot between the hands, knee stacked on ankle again, keeping that back heel lifted, hands either side of the left foot, this time pressing the right hand into the mat, inhaling the left hand up. Exhaling the left hand down, inhaling the right hand up. Exhaling the right hand down and inhaling, lifting to your high or your low crescent lunge. Again, strong focus here on each exhale, dropping the hips a little further on each inhale, reaching the arms higher, keeping that back heel as lifted as you can. Strong focus, long, deep breaths through the nose. 5 more counts. Exhaling, leading forward with the chest, pointing the fingers back behind you, lifting that chest into arrowhead pose. Long deep breaths still here. This time taking the right foot to the mat, coming all the way up into our warrior two, knee stacked on ankle, gazing, making sure you can see that big toe, gazing over the fingers, stretching the arms out wide. Inhaling the left palm facing up, reversing the warrior to half moon. And exhaling, scooping all the way forward, framing the foot, stepping the left foot back, Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. From here, we're going to step or jump our feet through the hands now, coming into a seated. If you'd like to, jumping through whenever you're ready. Otherwise, crossing the shins over as we start to rock back onto our tailbone. Taking both legs out in front of you now, squeezing the feet and knees together, engaging the feet, trying to get the toes pointing towards you if possible. Hands either side of the hips, lifting the chest, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. Closing the eyes, tucking the chin. As we come into Dandasana, staff pose. In Dandasana, we feel our spine engage from our tailbone all the way up to your neck. If you notice your spine rounding here, lifting that chest even higher. Again, long, deep breaths as we strengthen our posture here in Dandasana. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling, folding forward, either taking the hands to shins or clasping the big toes with pointer and thumb. Inhaling, looking up, exhaling, folding forward. If you have the hands on the shins here, making sure the feet are still engaged, the toes pointing towards you. Closing the eye. Breathing into this seated forward fold. Inhaling and looking up. The next options here is you have the hands on the shins. You can take the hands to the mat outside of the shins. If you have the toes clasped, you can clasp the outsides of the feet, exhaling and folding forward. Inhaling, looking up. For this last round, you can either repeat the same of any of the ones before, otherwise clasping the outsides of the heels and exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, releasing the feet. Inhaling the arms up, pointing the fingers to the sky, and exhaling the hands all the way back behind you. You point the fingers forward towards the front of the mat. So you start to press down through the hands and the heels, inhaling, lifting the hips into reverse plank. If you'd like to here, dropping the head back, Drawing the bottoms of the feet towards the mat, lifting those hips as high as you can. A little bit higher, that's 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, releasing the hips, crossing the shins and rocking forward into a Vinyasa. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. When you're ready, inhaling and stepping or jumping the feet through the hands, taking the legs out in front of you. Keeping the left leg straight this time. Again, foot engaged, toes pointing towards you. Taking the right shin over the left thigh. So just making sure it's above the knee here. We don't have the shin sitting on the knee. Keeping that left foot engaged. Taking one hand on the foot, one on the knee as you start to press that knee towards the mat. Feeling the hips opening up here. If you feel you can take this further, clasping the right foot with the left hand, squeezing the foot into the hip flexor. Taking the right hand around the back, clasping the left elbow, lifting the chest, closing the eyes as you press that right knee towards the mat, feeling that hip opening even deeper. If you feel any pain in your right knee here, releasing that foot closer to the left knee. Again, we're opening the hip as much as we can here, so we're going to keep that chest as lifted as possible, the spine as straight as we can. The worst thing we want to do is round the spine here. Closing the eyes, long, deep breaths. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling and swapping sides. This time, taking the left shin over the right thigh. Again, that left foot engaged, toes pointing towards you. You can have one hand on the foot, one on the knee, pressing the knee down, or clasping the left foot with the right hand, squeezing the foot into the hip flexor. Taking the left hand around the back, clasping the right elbow. Again, keeping the spine as straight as possible, right foot engaged, closing the eyes. Long, deep breaths through the nose. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, releasing the foot and just shaking the knees out here, releasing any tension we might have created in the knees. As we cross the shins, rocking forward into a Vinyasa again, stepping or jumping the feet back, high plank to low plank. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling and stepping or jumping the feet through the hands, coming into a seated, this time taking the bottoms of the feet together, the knees out wide. Making sure we have a bit of space here between the hips and the heels as we clasp both feet with both hands, lifting the chest, closing the eyes as you start to press the knees to the mat. So on each inhale, lifting that chest a little bit higher as you're straightening the spine. On each exhale, pressing the knees down a little bit lower towards the mat. Long, deep breaths. Inhaling, looking up, and keeping the feet clasped here. Exhaling, folding forward as you squeeze those elbows in tight towards you. If you feel you'd like to take it further, feel free to stretch the arms out in front of you here. Whatever feels best for you today. Closing the eyes, letting go. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, releasing all the way up, crossing the shins and rocking forward into a Vinyasa. Stepping or jumping the feet back, high plank to low plank, Chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling and stepping or jumping the feet through the hands, this time hugging the knees into the chest. As you lift the chest, straightening the spine as much as you can here as you hug those knees in. When you're ready, rocking back, finding your balance on your tailbone and inhaling as we lift into our first boat pose, Navasana. Squeezing the feet and knees together, arms to the side. If this is too much, taking the hands under the thighs. Otherwise, keeping the arms to the side, chest lifted still here. It's 4, 5, crossing the shins, coming down, inhaling, lifting the tailbone. Exhaling, releasing the tailbone, hugging the knees to chest for our second boat, rocking back and inhaling, lifting into your second boat pose. For this one, if you can, starting to lift the feet a little bit higher, chest lifted still here. It's 3, 4, 5, crossing the shins, coming down, inhaling, lifting the tailbone. Exhaling, releasing the tailbone, hugging the knees to chest. For our last boat, rocking back and inhaling, lifting, giving this one all you've got, lifting those legs as high as you can, or if you can, straightening the legs completely for a full boat. Chest lifted still, a long deep breath. That's 3, 4, 5. Crossing the shins and rocking forward into a vinyasa, stepping or jumping the feet back. Chaturanga Dandasana, high plank to low plank. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling and stepping or jumping the feet through the hands. This time taking the feet to the front of the mat, hip width apart, big toes pointing slightly in. So you take your hips as close to your heels as you can. Coming all the way down to your back, palms to the floor, tucking the chin into the chest. Making sure the feet and knees hip width apart, so almost like there's a soccer ball in between the feet and the knees here. Exhaling here, and as you inhale, lifting the hips into our first bridge pose, Danasana. If you'd like to, keeping the palms flat or clasping the hands under the lower back as you squeeze the shoulder blades and elbows towards each other, pressing the hips as high as you can. 4, 5, exhaling, releasing the hips to the mat, resting here for a moment. For our second round, inhaling, the arms up, pointing the fingers to the sky. Again, hip, shoulder width apart here, so almost like there's that soccer ball in between the hands. Exhaling here and inhaling, lifting the hips into our second Danasana, bridge pose. Pressing those hips as high as you can, pressing down through the feet, the shoulders. Exhaling, releasing the arms and the hips to the mat, resting. For our last round, inhaling the arms all the way over the head, resting the back of the hands flat on the floor. Exhaling here and inhaling, lifting into your last bridge, giving this one all you've got, tucking the chin to chest, pressing those hips as high as you can. That's 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, releasing the hips to the mat, hugging the knees to chest, rocking side to side, back and forth, massaging the spine gently. Then keeping the knees hugged to the chest, taking the arms out wide with the palms facing down. Inhaling here and exhaling the knees all the way to your right side, coming into some gentle twisting. If you'd like to, closing the eyes, turning your head to the left. So you feel your spine twisting from your tailbone all the way up to your neck. Muscles getting stretched that rarely get stretched. Letting go into the twist. Inhaling the knees to chest and exhaling the knees all the way to your left side. Closing the eyes, turning your head to the right. Making sure your neck, your shoulders, your jaw are completely relaxed here. Letting go. Inhaling the knees to chest. Hugging the knees into the chest, starting to rock back and forward. Long, big rocks from the tailbone all the way up to the neck. And on the next rock forward, coming all the way forward, stepping or jumping the feet back, high plank to low plank, Chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Just pedaling the feet out here in our downward dog for a moment, side to side. So we're going to come into 3 rounds of our dolphin pose now. If you do practice headstand in your practice, or if you're learning it against the wall, feel free to do that now. Otherwise, for our dolphin, exhaling, coming onto our elbows. So making sure the elbows are shoulder width apart here. You can have the palms flat on the ground, or you can clasp the hands together. We're going to keep the head lifted for our dolphin today. So we're going to keep our gaze between the forearms or the wrists here. So keeping that head lifted. Once you're here, starting to press down through the forearms and walking the feet towards the body, lifting the hips as high as you can. 3, 4, 5. Exhaling to child's pose, resting it out here. If you're practicing your headstand, just doing whatever you feel. You can do 3 rounds or staying here for the whole 3 rounds, whatever's up to you. Inhaling, downward dog. Preparing for our second dolphin. Exhaling down onto the elbows for our second dolphin. Again, making sure the elbows aren't too wide here, making sure they're sitting under the shoulders. For this round here, if you'd like to, inhaling the right leg up, straightening the leg, pointing the toes, lifting the leg as high as you can here. Pressing down through the forearms still, that's 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, child's pose, resting it out here. Inhaling, downward dog. Exhaling onto the elbows for our last dolphin. This time, if you'd like to, inhaling the left leg up, straightening the leg, pointing the toes, and lifting that leg as high as you can, pressing down through the forearms, feeling the upper body strengthening here in our dolphin. Head lifted, that's 4, 5. Exhaling, child's pose. This time coming into a wide-legged child's pose. Big toes together, knees out wide, letting the chest melt to the floor. Inhaling, downward dog. Exhaling here and inhaling, stepping or jumping the feet through the hands. So you come into a comfortable seated position now with the legs crossed. Taking the hands out over the knees with the palms facing up, gently connecting pointer and thumb. Keeping the spine as straight as we can here, but relaxing the shoulders. If you are leaning up against something, still keeping that chest lifted, the spine straight. Closing the eyes. As you bring your complete focus now to the breath. Longer, deeper inhales and exhales through the nose, one after another. Today for Pranayama, we're going to practice Nadi Shodhan, alternate nostril breathing. Taking your right hand, your pointer and middle finger between the brow. Pressing your thumb into your right nostril, inhaling through the left nostril. Releasing the right nostril, taking the ring finger to the left nostril, exhaling through the right nostril. Inhaling through the right nostril. Releasing the left nostril, taking the thumb to the right nostril, exhaling through the left nostril. We'll do 7 more rounds all together, inhaling left nostril. Exhaling right nostril. Inhaling right nostril. Exhaling left nostril. Inhaling left nostril. Exhaling right nostril. Inhaling right nostril. Exhaling left nostril. Inhaling left nostril. Exhaling right nostril. Inhaling right nostril. Exhaling left nostril. Just repeating this, we'll do 4 more rounds going at your own pace. I'll let you do these on your own. Two more rounds left. And on the next exhale, releasing the hand back down to the knee. So you take 3 deep inhales and exhales now through both nostrils. Taking in all the benefits of Nadi Shodhana as it evens out the left and the right hemispheres of the brain. Enjoying how you feel after practicing Nadi Shodhana. And when you're ready now, slowly starting to make your way down onto your back as we prepare for Shavasana. Letting your hands and feet splay out to the side with the palms facing up. Making any final movements here to get comfortable. As we prepare for our last pose, Shavasana, corpse pose. As you feel each point of your body meeting with the earth, feeling your body melting into the earth. So you begin now to let go. Letting go of anything you may be holding on to. Letting go of negative energy. Letting go of negative emotion. Letting go of the past and letting go of the future. So you allow yourself to be completely present in this very moment. Knowing that wherever you are is exactly right where you are meant to be. Being content with everything you are and have right now. So begin now to let go of the body, starting from the toes, the feet, the ankles, letting go. The calves, the knees, the thighs, letting go. the hips, the abdomen, the lower back. Letting go. All the way up your spine to your upper back, your shoulders, your chest. Letting go. Down your arms, through your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers. Letting go. The back of your neck, your throat, your jaw. Your cheeks, your eyes, the whole of your face, and the top of your head. Letting go. So you use this time to heal and rejuvenate as you relax into Shavasana. Stay here for a few minutes in silence and I'll let you know when to return. Just gently starting to wriggle the fingers and toes. rocking your head from side to side. Stretching your arms out over your head, giving your whole body a stretch. From your fingers to your toes. Hugging your knees to chest. And allowing yourself to fall to your left or your right side. Coming into a fetal position. You take a moment here to allow the mind to return to the body. When you're ready, slowly making your way up into a comfortable seated position with the legs crossed. Keeping the eyes closed still and taking the hands to heart. As you reflect back on the intention that you set at the beginning of today's practice. As we take a moment here to show gratitude. Gratitude towards yourself and your practice today. As we'll close this practice just as we opened it with one Om all together. Inhaling through the nose. Rubbing the palms together, placing the palms over the eyes as you feel the warmth in the eyes. Taking the hands to heart. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste.